he's doing this to himself.
But it affects
It's
my
not,
kids.
Of course it does. That's the tragic part of the whole story.
It's just like I still feel the need to not talk about it and protect it for my kids. And I always will feel that way. But God, if people knew, I just would never do that to my kids. It just is really crazy. Co-parenting, it's really hard, you know? And
you're not co-parenting with just anyone.
Yeah.
For the quietest, easiest.
But I had the best dad, and I had the best memories and the greatest experience. And that's all I want for my kids. As long as they can have that, that's what I would want for them.
Y'all, Kim Kardashian is done with Kanye's BS, as she should, and she just filed for sole custody of their 3 kids. And get this, Kanye's recent behavior on social media, well, let's just say the chances are looking like she's going to get full custody. In case you missed it, he recently admitted to having a relationship with his own cousin. Y'all, I don't know if that should have stayed in the drafts or if he should just be in jail. Well, needless to say, Kim did not take it well, and she had her lawyers on speed dial. Now, Kanye has been accusing Kim for a long time for trying to steal their kids from him, and it looks like he might have been onto something. But get this, not only is Kim trying to take the kids, but word in the streets is that she is banning them from seeing anybody and Kanye's whole family. Now, Kanye just declared war on Kim for it, and y'all know what this means. Things are about to get insanely messy. So let's break down this chaos. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Kanye has been a whole menace on social media these past couple of weeks, heck, past couple of years. So this sort of behavior is not exactly new. However, the thought of him admitting to an inappropriate relationship with his own cousin was not in anyone's bingo card. The wild part is that he did it all unprovoked. In case you missed the tea, Kanye recently dropped a song called Cousins, and the song was chaotic from the very first line. I mean, it opened with Kanye West saying, "Hanging with my cousin reading dirty magazines. We seen some ninjas kissing, we ain't know what that ish mean. Then we started reenacting everything that we seen, and that's when I gave my cousin head." When I tell y'all that the internet was grossed out and gagged over this, fans were asking and wondering if he was even telling a true story or if it was just a song or if he was just off his meds again. And everybody was reading into it. But what we didn't expect was for Kanye to come out and spill one of the most insane tea that we've ever even heard. He took to Twitter unprovoked and said, "This song is called Cousin, about my cousin that's locked in jail for life. Pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin's D till I was 14. Yo, what? Absolutely vile. Y'all, this should have stayed in the drafts and never seen the light of day because it's absolutely crazy. Now, one thing that's also had people talking was Kanye's age when he said all this happened. Fans noticed that he conveniently left out the age he was when he and his cousin started messing around, even though he revealed that his cousin was 6. This had people wondering if this was because of significantly older than the cousin at the time, but don't get me wrong, he was definitely a child himself, but fans find it very sus that he left out his own age when he started. But also, Kanye has been quite open about his struggles with adult content. A couple of years ago, he made a post on Instagram addressed to his daughters, and he said, "Don't let Chris make you do Playboy like she made Kylie and Kim do. Hollywood is a giant brothel. Adult content destroyed my family and I deal with the addiction and Instagram promotes it. Not gonna let it happen in Northie in Chicago." He had also been exposed for inappropriate behavior by several people who worked closely with him. It all ties back to his obsession with adult content. His former assistant, Lauren Picciota, even sued him last year. According to reports, Lauren was primarily supporting herself via an OnlyFans profile in 2021 when she met West. She says he hired her to work on the first season of his Yeezy women's fashion line, and they ended up collaborating on 3 tracks from his Donda album. Picciota does not have any formal credits on the record, however. West subsequently hired Picciota as his personal assistant with an annual salary of $1 million on the condition that she was available 24/7. She says she agreed to the terms. She claimed that everything was fine between them until 2022 when Kanye suddenly changed course. Lauren alleged that he had been adopting a godlike lifestyle and insisted she delete her OnlyFans account. According to reports, after she closed the account, she claims that she was bombarded with explicit text messages from West, including adult videos. Picciota also claims that he masturbated while talking to her on the phone, and that on one occasion he pleasured himself in front of her after trapping her in a private room on his plane. Y'all, this is just too much for him being a changed, godly person a couple of months ago who was trying to make some type of difference. Well, she claimed that he would say stuff like, see, my problem is I be wanting to F, but then after I F, I want the girl to tell me how hard they've been F while I'm Fing them. Then I want her to cheat on me. He would apparently go on to describe his intimate fantasies with vulgar language. Another time she claimed that he texted her saying, "Is my D racist? It is. This effing racist D of mine. I'm gonna beat this racist D for being effing racist. I'm gonna stare at pictures of white women with black behinds and beat the ish out of my racist D. Beating the ish out of this big black C." Y'all, I don't even want to read it. Also, there are reports going around last April that Kanye decided to dabble in the adult movie business. Extra weird though, right? Because especially since Kanye had previously admitted that adult content had negatively impacted his whole life due to his addiction, and he was steering clear of it because of the danger it posed. What's more, it seemed like he wanted his wife Bianca to appear in these movies. An insider said she's freaking out with the good reason. He's been strutting her around and dressing her like she's a P-star, and now she knows why. Bianca went along with him parading her around like she was in some kind of freaky fashion show because she thought he could turn her into a star, but skin flicks are beyond the pale. But it seems she eventually warmed up to the idea. At some point, she even began sharing links to adult content herself, fully aware that some of the employees who might come across it were underage. According to reports, the videos shared by Sensory, who has been married to the rapper since 2022, were accessible for underage staff. No guardrails were put in place to prevent the underage Yeezy season workers from working on Yeezy P, or to even prevent them from being exposed to and being forced to view to perform their work. Another source claimed that the lawsuit further alleges that Ye's wife Bianca Sensory sent one employee a file sharing link containing hardcore activity. The link was reportedly meant for the development of a app, which Ye announced plans for earlier in 2024. But that's not all, because according to reports, Kanye also allegedly showed Kim's nude photos to Adidas staff before the company cut ties with him. Many employees claim that he played adult movies to the Yeezy staff in meetings, showing explicit private photos of Kim Kardashian in interviews, and showed his adult tapes to the team members. A former collaborator said of the behavior, "At the time I found it odd, but in line with his persona as an edgy artist. Now seeing it within a larger pattern, I feel it was a tactic to break a person down and establish their unwavering allegiance to him, testing and destroying people's boundaries." Yo, at this point, we knew Kim was strong, but she got to be one of God's stronger soldiers because Kanye keeps testing her boundaries and patience. And on top of all that, admitting to a weird relationship with his cousin? Yeah, it's just a whole lot to deal with. But Kanye got a lot of backlash for this tweet, with fans saying stuff like, Kanye needs that guardianship that Wendy Williams had. Kanye West isn't crazy or bipolar. He's a closeted DL man whose mind is imploding on itself. You can only fake being straight for so long before you crash out. And P addiction really ruined Kanye's life from young. Kids should not be exposed to that ish. He needs to go to therapy. Him lashing out all these years instead of getting help is crazy, especially since he has the resources. Well, to nobody's surprise, Kim did not take this well. According to reports, she is planning on having an emergency custody hearing for their 4 kids. An insider revealed that she no longer trusts Kanye's side of the family and she wants to keep her kids away from them as much as she can. But the insider claimed that Kim never really got along with his side of the family because they never really liked her. They didn't think that she was good enough for Kanye, and things have been strained between them from the start. But with the new development, let's just say that Kim isn't shedding any tears about cutting them off. Her first priority is to protect her kids, of course, even from Kanye's family. Yes, this isn't surprising though, because Kim has had issues with Kanye parenting for a while now. And surprise, surprise, the only reason we know that is because of Kanye. Because remember when he called Beyonce and Jay-Z's twins the R word a couple of weeks ago? He later came out to claim that the reason that he did that was that they refused to help him in his custody battle with Kim. He tweeted, "Concerning the Jay-Z and Beyonce tweet, Ninja said I would regret it. No, I regret taking it down. My Twitter account is on one-way conversation. The only thing that I was mad about in the last few hours was taking that Jay-Z and Beyonce tweet down. Somebody from my music team called me and begged me to take it down and spoke on Twitter banning, etc. I'm so mad I took it down. And now that you think Jay-Z peace self made me take it down, I gotta double down. Ain't no celebrity ever said nothing to me to come to my aid when it came to these white women taking my kids because they was mad I was wearing a Trump hat. F Jay-Z and his whole family, especially his shooters." So maybe the reason they didn't help him was that they believed the kids would be better off with Kim than giving Kanye's unstable behavior. I mean, really. But then he claimed that Kim was trying to have full control over their kids, saying, "So Kim got the name and likeness over my black children. So a white woman has control over the name and likeness of my black children and then speaks to Cardi about putting my daughter on a song with them? These dumb celebrities be trying to play with me in my face." But let's not forget how he crashed out on Kim when she had issues with him putting their daughter North on Diddy's song. But considering the allegations against Diddy, Kim was right to oppose that. But Kanye didn't take it well at all. And to nobody's surprise, he put her on blast on social media. And Kanye dropped screenshots showing how Kim opposed him, saying, "I asked you at the time if I could trademark her name. You said yes. When she's 18, it goes to her. So stop. I sent paperwork over so she wouldn't be in the Diddy song to protect her. One person has to trademark. We agreed when they were born, I would get all of our kids' names and trademarks so no one else would take them." And Kanye replied, "Amend it or I'm going to war, and neither of us will recover from the public fallout. You're going to have to kill me." According to reports, Kim tried to block him from putting North on that song. According to TMZ, when Kim found out, she sent out legal letters demanding a cease and desist, an emergency hearing with a mediator and a judge, which sources say Kanye did not join, was held, and sources claim Kanye promised not to drop the song, and Kim doesn't want North involved in her dad's recent behavior, or sources say, or any of the drama surrounding Diddy, who is facing federal charges. She's called everyone she could to keep this song from coming out. Well, fighting to put your daughter on a song in support of a man who has been accused of crimes against women is definitely a choice and not a good one. But speaking of Diddy, Kanye has been crashing out hard in support of Diddy. He wrote, "You bees were not essayed. Pardon me, but let me put this in yay all caps. You Me Too bees did not get essayed. You extorted ninjas. Ninjas means men. Bees means bees." He also said, "Trump, please free my brother Puff. Free Puff. Puff, we love you. I stood up for Puff and I'm still winning 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl." He also said, "My support of Puff is completely selfish. I need to find out whoever been trying to out black moguls. I just found out that Puff is not allowed to make or collect money while he's locked up, so I'ma send his half of the money to Justin. Puff got me too. So did I. Free Puff. Did Puff get me too? Because of the fighting or because of the money? I never seen a broke ninja get me too." Now, to be fair, Kim also had ties to Diddy before he got exposed, but at least she's distanced herself from him. But Kanye, on the other hand, has been out here defending Diddy and campaigning for his release, even putting his daughter on a free Diddy song, which, by the way, also featured Diddy's son, Christian Combs, who is also matching essay allegations with his own daddy. Now, for someone who talks a big game about protecting his daughters, he sure seems to have them around questionable characters. But when you add all that up with his new claims of an inappropriate relationship with his cousin, it's not surprising that Kim wants out and wants nothing to do with his side of the family. At this point, it's just seeming dangerous. On the other hand, fans have pointed out something very interesting. Kanye was diagnosed with bipolar disorder a couple of years ago and has been on his meds. However, when he gets off his meds, he starts acting out, like the time he revealed that Kim almost got rid of North when she was pregnant, or the time he claimed that Kim and her mom, Kris Jenner, were trying to have him hospitalized, referring to Kris as Kris Jong-un. A few weeks ago, he did reveal he had stopped taking the medication for bipolar disorder because his new wife took him to a new specialist who diagnosed him with autism instead.
I went to this doctor, one that worked with Justin Bieber, one that worked with, I'm not even gonna name other names and stuff. My wife took me to do that, because you say something about your personality doesn't feel like it's bipolar. I've seen bipolar before.
Yeah.
She's educated, so I've seen bipolar before, and come to find out it's really a case of autism.
Wow.
That I have. And autism takes you to a Rain Man thing where you're like, oh man, I'm gonna wear this Trump hat because I just like Trump in general.
Yeah.
And then when people tell you to not do it, you just get on that one point. And that's my problem when fans tell me to do my album a certain way.
Yeah.
I'll do it the opposite way just because la I got my money, right?
Yeah.
He also said this.
The Get Out of Here episode, a lot of people like medication. Do you take medication? Does it work for you? What gets you out of
I haven't
your
taken
episode?
the medication since I found out that it wasn't bipolar. That wasn't the right diagnosis. That I found out it was like autism. So
how does do you feel it working, or do you just take it just to make your wife happy because she says you should take it? Like, do you believe in the medication?
it's finding stuff that doesn't block the creativity. Obviously, that's what I bring to the world. You know, it's worth a ramp up.
Yeah.
As long as y'all get the creativity, like.
So if he's no longer on a medication for his bipolar disorder, then it could certainly explain this absolutely bizarre behavior, especially if he's been off the medication for a long time. However, now that their kids are involved, Kim is not taking any chances, and she shouldn't. But I gotta know what y'all feel about this. Do you think that Kim is doing the right thing by banning his side of the family, or do you think that she's doing way too much? Drop it down in the comments below, and then check out this next video.